Okay, so welcome to this webinar. My name is Anni Alho. I'm working with cultural tourism in the Finnish Heritage Agency, and one of my main duties is to coordinate cultural routes of Council of Europe program in Finland. And as you maybe many know, European Route of Industrial Heritage is one of the biggest, or maybe even the biggest, cultural route of Council of Europe. And since there is a lot of potential in industrial heritage in Finland and also in other Nordic countries and Baltics, but not that many members of European Route of Industrial Heritage. So that's why I have organized this webinar together with Christiane Baum. Christiane is Secretary General of the European Route of Industrial Heritage, and she will tell you today more about the route network. And as I said, you also have an opportunity for questions after the presentation. So you can write your questions to the chat box or just raise your virtual hand. I hope you will find this webinar inspiring, and I hope the route will get a lot of new active members from Finland and also from another Nordic countries and Baltics. So please, Christiane, floor is yours.
Good morning, everybody. I hope you can hear me. Anni, thank you very much for the invitation and organizing this seminar. I would like to introduce to you our route, the European Route of Industrial Heritage, and I'll start by sharing my screen with you and hope this works smoothly now. So I hope you can see my slides.
Yes, it's perfect.
Super. So as I said, my name is Christiane Baum. I'm the Secretary General of ERI, the European Route of Industrial Heritage. Our network was funded in 1999, so more than 20 years ago. We work on industrial heritage in Europe. I think it's important to say we are not a monument protection network. We are a tourist information network. Our aim is to present attractions that tell the story of our common industrialization, our common industrial past in Europe. And in these last 20 years, we tried to establish a strong brand for industrial heritage in tourism in Europe. To give you a first insight, I would like to share a video with you. As Anni said, since 2019, we are certified as a cultural route of the Council of Europe, and we are very proud of this brand that we now have additional to our own certification because we think it's a seal of quality for our route. So I would like to share our video with you.
The history of industry is part of our European identity. Nothing has shaped Europe as much as the Industrial Revolution. Industrial heritage is diversity. Industrial heritage is adventure. Industrial heritage is fascination. Industrial heritage is our DNA. The Industrial Revolution changed the face of the Earth. Today, the mighty factory sites of former times are exciting witnesses to our shared past. Where once armies of workers gathered for their daily shift, now fascinating places that thrill their visitors. Where is the first factory in history located? The largest steam engine ever constructed. The once most modern coal mine in the world, along the European Route of Industrial Heritage, ERI. ERI brings industrial heritage to life. With us, you can explore Europe's industrial heritage at over 2,000 locations on the European route of industrial heritage. ERI, one network, many facets. The backbone of the route is formed by the anchor points, each with their unique attraction. Regional routes open up outstanding European industrial landscapes, and the histories of different industries reveal surprising and exciting cross-connections on our European theme routes. Return to our roots. Visit the European route of industrial heritage. ERI, European route of industrial heritage.
Okay, thank you very much, Annie, for helping me out. So I hope you can hear me back again.
Yes.
Okay. So as I said, we started in 1990, and it was only a small group of people who met and all had the same challenge. We all had these remains of industrialization. Most of the countries in Europe were suffering from the structural change, from the loss of industries in Europe. And the question was what to do with the monuments, the landscapes, with this built heritage, but also with tangible and intangible heritage. So the idea came up to create something like industrial heritage as a cultural common asset and to create a pan-European network. We were in the beginning funded by Interreg to develop a master plan and then again to develop a construct for the network and build the first website. And then after the expiry of the Interreg funding, the question was how to continue. So in 2008, 17 founder members decided to found a registered association based on German law, which is today the legal basis for our network. It's called ERI, European Route of Industrial Heritage, EV, which is a legal form in Germany. Since 2014, we are also funded by the Creative Europe program of the EU as the European Network for Industrial Heritage. So our financing is based on the membership fees of our members or paying members and also on EU funding. What are the objectives of our network? It's, of course, the interpretation of our common European histories to tell people the story of industrialization and invite them to discover what happened there before and what they can do at the sites today. To support industrial heritage sites and communities for the local and regional economic development by reusing the sites as cultural and tourism sites, to promote as I said, ERI as a European brand in tourism and to create a very comprehensive information platform for tourists, but also for inhabitants, for visitors. And we are also a knowledge base for many experts in the meantime. We are active in the field of research and knowledge. I'll explain this with our projects in some more minutes. We contribute to the European dimensions of technology, social and cultural history in the industrial age. We want to collect the knowledge and present it to general broad public. And what is most important in our network is to enable people to exchange on a European level their experiences. So we are an experts network for industrial heritage sites and experts all over Europe. And of course, it's also about preservation. Although we are not active in monument preservation, we still give good arguments to communities and regions why they should preserve the sites. We give ideas and best practice example how industrial heritage can contribute to spatial planning. And I think we also make aware that this is really a precious part of our common European history, culture, and identity. So why was it important for us to create a tourism network that works European-wide? We think industrialization was not a local or regional phenomenon. It was always a European story. We see many European links. It happened in almost all European countries. It is all about the authentic places of industrial heritage that tell the common story. And we think that it's really interesting to reach the people and tell them how attractive these locations are, and to create a common umbrella or a common brand for industrial heritage in Europe. So how is our network structured? It's not as complicated as the tubes you can see here, but it's a complex structure we are working on. So I'll try to explain you a little bit about how we are managed and how our membership is composed. As I said, we are based on a legal association under German law since 2008. This legal association has between 300 and 400 members in 29 European countries. Our members are industrial sites, museums, also public and private organization, tourism organization, public authorities. We have corporate members and individuals. I'll explain the different member forms a little later in my presentation. We are chaired by a board of management. The board is composed out of our membership. We have 13 international board members. They meet regularly 3 or 4 times a year. And we have some staff members, me as the general secretary, a communication officer, and an assistant here in the office. The board works on a volunteer basis, so they are not paid. And we work with the system of the so-called national representatives. In many countries, we have members who take over the position as a national contact point in their country. I'll also explain in more detail in my next slide what is the idea behind. We found it very difficult to get in touch with people in all the European countries we are working on. As you've seen, we have members in 29 countries. It's a question of language, it's a question of context, but it's also a question of local and regional networks there. So we identified members in the different countries. They work on a volunteer basis, they organize national meetings, and they also identify potential interested new members and identify anchor points for us. And they have an own national program for ERI. As you can see, the Scandinavian national part is still free. So if someone wants to join in as one of our national contact points for Scandinavian countries, we would be very pleased to welcome more colleagues in this National Representatives Club. As you heard in the video already, our route system is made up out of different parts, the so-called anchor points. I'll explain in more detail what we mean with the anchor points that are the highlights of the route. The regional routes and networks, they either existed already before or we assist them to be funded. And the European theme routes that explain the history of different branches and sectors, like, for example, textile, mining, coal, and other things. We have 16 of them all in all. So all in all, we list more than 2,000 sites on our website, but these 2,000 sites are not all paying members of our association. The background of this is that with the Interreg funding in the very beginning of ERI, we promised to make like an inventory or directory of the sites that are visible or are active as industrial heritage sites in Europe. This explains the number of the 2,200, and many sites even don't know that are listed on our site because we research them ourselves. We inform them if we are in touch with them, but they are not paying members, so they don't really have a large presentation on our website. They are only listed with a photo and their address details. The anchor points, these are the highlights of our network. We have more than 100 anchor points. They have to apply in a certain way. They have to fulfill quality criteria. And selection of anchor points is not only due to their historical importance, but also to the up-to-date quality of visitor welcome, visitor experience that people can experience today. The so-called regional routes and networks, they introduce in more detail the industrial history of the regions. I'll explain and give some examples a little bit later. And the largest part are the so-called theme routes. We have 16 theme routes with more than 40 subroutes, and they'll explain in detail the European history of different sectors and branches and show the links that we have between the different countries. As you can see, since the very beginning in the early 2000s, we have started to grow our database from 240 sites, and now we have more than 2,200 in all European countries. As I said, not all these sites are paying members of our association, and as a paying member of the association, you have certain benefits. You can, for example, contribute and participate in our projects, which I'll present to you during this presentation. So the anchor points for us form the main virtual route. The anchor points are also signposted, but not the route, of course. As you've seen, our route is very extensive, so we would not be able to signpost it all over Europe. Anchor points for us are the premium product for an attractive industrial heritage tourism offer. And the idea behind is that they can really compete with other tourism attractions in the regions. We often have regions who have other tourism topics like hiking or cycling or other classical cultural offers like castles or churches or domes. And in the beginning, industrial heritage was for us really a niche market in tourism because it was not learned by the visitors that this can be attractive destinations to visit and travel. Therefore, we created these anchor points. We have certain quality criteria to select them. Anchor points need to apply with a very comprehensive application. And our board of management will then assess the application. Normally, there's a site visit undertaken to anchor points. And if they are approved, they get a full marketing package, including the signs and a very comprehensive presentation on our website. The annual fee for anchor points is 500 euros. Examples for anchor points, for example, are the Iron Bridge in the UK, in Telford, or here you can see Ostrava Dolní Vítkovice in Czech Republic, Abenteuer Erzberg, Adventure Erzberg in Austria. We have many car museums. For example, here we have the Audi Museum in Germany. We have many breweries and distilleries. Also, this is Český Brewery in Poland. And we have, for example, in Norway, the Tyssedal Museum of Hydropower and Industry. Those are examples. As I said, we have more than 100 anchor points at the moment, and it's continuously growing. But here the focus is really on quality and not on quantity for the anchor points. The second level are the regional routes and regional networks. We have 21 regional routes in different countries. As I said, many of them existed before and were integrated as they are in our network. Others were built on our initiative. We are not traveling to the countries and really collect the ideas for a national route, but we assist the national coordinators or active groups in different countries to establish national regional routes. The idea behind the regional route is that they have a smaller scope. That means they interpret the history of industrialization in a certain region to residents and to visitors, and their smaller scale and smaller sites allows them to be traveled really by visitors. Many of our regional networks are signposted in the region and have an own marketing. Ideally, they are managed and promoted by one central organization. Often they are managed by one of our anchor points, or the central contact for us is the anchor point. And they are often the basis for really concrete tourism offers that can be booked, because on ERI we don't have any bookable tourism offers, as we experience that no one is really traveling the whole European route of industrial heritage. If you are interested to go more into detail, we offer a guide for creating regional route. That might be interesting if you think of doing something similar in Finland or in Finnish regions. That might be helpful to have a look at this guide. and we are also open to give advice or send experts to work on this topic. The blueprint of most of our regional networks is the Route Industriekultur, Route of Industrial Heritage in the Ruhr in Germany, which was the first really tourism-based. Right, and the Route Industriekultur in the Ruhr was for us the first big network. They also have a system of anchor points and smaller sites and slack heaps and other tourism attractions. They, in the meantime, have cycling routes on the route established, and they celebrate their 25th anniversary in next year. So they are really, for us, the basis for many of our routes. One of the offspins is a younger route, which is, for example, in Silesia, the route of technical monuments, which was created in Silesia, which is smaller than the Ruhr area route, but is also very successful. Both of them are doing annual events like days or nights of industrial heritage or weekends of industrial heritage. Another form of memberships are the individual sites. Individual sites can easily become an OERI member. They just have to come. They have to be open at least 2 days a week during the tourism season. I have listed you the 3 individual sites we have of active or paying members in the area association in Finland at the moment. Most of them are museums. They don't have to. Some of them are just event halls, cultural routes. What is important that you need to explain the history of your site at the site. So it's really important that visitors, even if you use it not as a museum, can experience what was there before and what is the history of the site. Many of the sites who intend to become an anchor point but not yet fulfill the anchor point criteria start as a normal site. And it's also cheaper. Many of our members also decide because of the lower membership fee, it's 100 euros per year. As we know, in cultural sector, there are not huge budgets available. So for many of our sites, it's easier to contribute 100 euros than 500 euros. For these individual sites, there is no real application assessment. You just fill in the form, and normally you are approved as a member quite easily. We have, as I said, these more than 2,000 sites listed. So you see we have a huge list, also a potential that we see in Finland, but not so many active members. As an example, I've brought you Norway. In Norway, we have 4 anchor points at the moment and 4 normal site members. On our website, they are marked in different colors. You can see these brown members here are the anchor points, and the gray members are the normal site associations in Norway. But also in Norway, we have a full list of a potential that we see in more sites, and probably there are even more which we don't know. The next level of our route system are the European theme routes. As I said, they illustrate the European connections. We have 16 thematic routes clustered to different sectors, grouped by industrial sectors, with 44 subdivisions. We have also a route that works with living industry, company museums and factory visits, and we have a route that lists all UNESCO World Heritage Site of Industrial Heritage. These thematic routes are really virtual routes. They show for us the diversity of industrial heritage, but also show the European links. All sites listed on our website are linked to one or more thematic routes, and they are, of course, not signposted. They are just really explained and described on the website. So for us, OERI is a tool for visibility and collaboration of industrial heritage sites and museums in Europe. We do a lot of projects. I have taken out some exemplary projects to explain you a little bit in what fields we are active. One of our biggest events is the Work It Out European Dance event. The European Dance event was created in 2018 for the European Year of Cultural Heritage. And since then, we are annually implementing the Work It Out event. The concept is that we try to find something to attract kids and teenagers to industrial heritage. And we thought, what do they like? They like music, they like social media, they like videos and posts, and they like dance. So what we do is we create, we have young musicians composing musics for us, hip-hop musics. We have young dancers who create a choreography, and we give tutorial videos to all the sites that are interested, and they rehearse the dance. And at one certain date, it's the second day in September, second Sunday in September. This year it's the 10th of September. All sites do this dance event at their site. They take videos of it. They get, as a common key visual, they get caps from us in certain colors. And we accompany this with social media campaign. We reach about 4 to 5 million people with this social media campaign. And the sites and also visitors and dancers can post their own videos, their photos. We all collect this on a social wall. So we have a really unique and lively event. I've brought a second video, but I'm not sure if I can share it. But maybe, Annie, you can step in again and show it.
Now?
Yeah.
Together we stand, the values we share now unite us in a way we should care about. Our duty is now to never stop thinking about. Let's not forget what has been done, work it out together as one.
Okay, I think we can stop this here. This is just the... Thank you very much for sharing it again. Right. The Work It Out is really one of our biggest success events. It's the only public and end consumer event we centrally organize for ERI. And the big advantage is that you really can do it in a small or big scale. We have some sites which dance with 10 kids and teenagers, and we have some sites who have 150, 200. I think in Norway, we once had 900 dancers. So it really depends on what you can handle at your site. And last year, we were awarded with the Best Practice Award of the Cultural Roots of the Council of Europe for the Work It Out format. So we're very proud of this. And this is one of the projects we dedicate only to our association members. So it's not possible for non-members to participate in this event. We see that the outreach of the social media campaign is really huge. So we think this is really a good model. And what is really a nice or fun fact about is we initially thought it's for kids and teenagers, but today we see it's for all generations. Last year, our oldest dancer was 88, and we had a group of senior dancers, and they really had a lot of fun in rehearsing, and they liked the hip hop music. So I think it's also good to attract all kind of target groups to the industrial heritage sites and bring life into your sites. Another project we do is the so-called Linking Europe exhibition. Linking Europe is a virtual exhibition on our website and also a real exhibition in the different sites. The idea behind is that we see all over Europe, there are always links between European countries and European sites. A very basic example, for example, is there is a Cromford textile factory in the UK and there's a Cromford textile factory in Germany. So it was a very early case of espionage. And the link can be a machine, a tool, or people, entrepreneurs or inventors, shared history. So it really is a challenge to find these links and promote them a little bit as fun facts in our virtual exhibition. And also our members can get these marketing tools that you see here, like roll-ups or posters or banners that we produce for them. And we take over costs for the production. Here you see some examples of the virtual exhibition. This is a continuously growing idea to show the European links of ERI. We have another traveling exhibition. It's called Change with an Impact. It shows the regional impact of industrialization. It travels around Europe and is shown in different of our sites. We have two sizes of these exhibitions, a smaller one, a big one. These are big textile banners and a smaller roll-up exhibition. And we take over transfer and travel costs of this exhibition, and the sites can exhibit it and distribute it. We do some more other things. We do an annual, no, a biannual, in the meantime, only 2 years, Industrial Heritage Barometer. It's an online survey where we try to measure the economic impact of industrial heritage, which gives a good basis and arguments for further investments and for discussions with politicians. So we asked the number of visitors the sites have, the investments, and also their projects for the future, etc. The results of the survey of the barometer can be seen on our website. We organize a project that is called ERI on Tour, so members can apply for subsidies in the network to get some travel and accommodation costs from us. If they want to visit each other and have a common challenge or want to exchange a common project, we can subsidize these with some budget for travel costs. It's called ERI on Tour. And afterwards, the members give a small report, which is then published on the website. The idea to get a collection of best practice examples for all our members. We are also active in the field of recruitment. We have established the European Heritage Academy of Industrial Heritage. We have a set of lectures that we hold at different universities, which means, for example, we do this as an online university in the lectures, but also on site. So we are always looking for interested universities and partners, and we have some lecturers out of the ERI network who are offering different lectures. And we are also active in the field of knowledge transfer. We see that it's a big challenge for the sites to ensure the succession planning, to get young people as staff at the sites. So we have different tools and develop different ideas for the transfer of knowledge and skills at the sites. In our communication, we do the biggest means of communication is our website. The website is very complex. If you might have a look of it, it's www.eri.net. We have approximately 140,000 visits per month. We don't do any ads on this, it's just organic. So we think this is quite a good outreach. It's dedicated for guests and visitors, but also we see that it's an interesting database for experts. We have more than 2,000 sites. We have the anchor points, and we have the routes that Eufema explained. We have an extensive collection of links on the website, and the website is continuously growing and monitored. We have biographies of people who influenced the industrialization on the website. We have articles about almost all European countries, the industrial history of all European countries. We have the different branches and sectors with the theme routes that I explained. And we have our projects like the Linking Euro exhibition on the website. We have an extensive service section. We publish a newsletter 4 times a year, quarterly newsletter. We have a calendar of events, which is a save the date section, which is more or less dedicated to conferences and business to business, but also to larger events on industrial heritage in the countries. We have best practice examples. We have an experts database where we provide many information for download, and a link collection, as I said, with links structured by countries and different topics. We are also doing some social media activity. We have a Facebook page with more than 10,000 followers at the moment. We try to post twice a week with different posts. We have an own YouTube channel where you can see all the videos which you just saw, but also all the other videos from our members and from our activities. We do an Instagram channel also where we post regularly. So we are trying to be as active as possible with the small group of people we have in the network. We are networking at the European level. As I said, we are funded by Creative Europe as the central network for industrial heritage in Europe. So we are part of the European Heritage Alliance, which is chaired by Europa Nostra, which is an alliance of more than, I think, 40 networks and organizations active in cultural heritage. We are active member of the experts group, Cultural Heritage Forum for the European Commission, who consults the European Commission about industrial heritage or cultural heritage. We are, as I said, a cultural root of the Council of Europe, and we have many contacts to organizations and associations all over Europe. I said in the beginning, we are not the monument protectors, but we have a memorandum of understanding with the TICI organization, the International Committee for Conservation of Industrial Heritage, and have very close links with them also. Yeah, so the question is, why should you become an ERI member? We think that ERI in the meantime is a well-known brand for industrial heritage, and it makes very visible the thematic and historical links that can bring added value to your site. The all-over visibility and awareness is raised by the cross-marketing. I think the biggest benefits is really the exchange of experience. Most of you are probably doing their own marketing and can do this better on a regional or local level than we can do on a European level. But the exchange of experience with other sites in Europe, I think, is really one of the main benefits. Also working together in collaborative projects, participate in network projects, and of course participate in our annual conferences and national meetings. And of course, it's always good. We experience from our members that lobbying at national level, it is helpful to be part of a bigger European community. That's what our members report. And of course, you become part of our very lively and dynamic community. We always call it the ERI family. I think most people know each other for really a long time, and it's all about a little bit of fun and yeah, but also the topic of industrial heritage. So the membership forms and fees at one glance. We have different forms, individual sites. As I said, there are no quality criteria for them except being open 2 days during the season per week and explaining the history. It's 100 euros, anchor points, quality criteria, assessment by the board, 500 euros. Corporate members, for example, these are tourism boards or public authorities who manage regional routes. They pay 500 euros and bring in 5 members already for their 500 euros. We have individual people who are members, which is only 100 euros. And the smallest form we have is Friends of ERI, It's only 25 euros, but you have no voting rights. So if you want to become a member of the ERI network, all information is also available on the website. So, and my last slide for today, an invitation if you want to get to know us or just interested to see what we are doing. We have an annual conference every year. This year it's from 8 to 10 November. It's in Bilbao, the Basque Country in Spain, but we'll also offer it as a hybrid event. The topic this year is industrial heritage as an engine for sustainable social and economic community regeneration. Community regeneration means the integration really of the surroundings of industrial sites. The basis for this for us is the new European Bauhaus. The call for papers is open. If you want to contribute with a paper, feel free. Information is already on our website and can be submitted until the end of June. We are doing these annual events since 2005. It's a mixture of best practice examples, workshops, discussions, and excursions for those who are on site, and our annual conferences are open for members and non-members. Our association members get a better price for the conference fees, but still you can also participate if you are not a member, and online participation is free. So this is the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention. If you want to get more information, all on our website, or you can contact me or my colleagues by email. Our contact details are also on the website. And now I would be open for your questions.
Thank you so much for your interesting and inspiring presentations and wonderful videos as well. So I'll put the recording off now, and